Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
Now in this episode we're going to be talking about legends, myths, wives' tales in your campaign.
Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
In this episode,
Legends, myths, and wives' tales in your campaign.
why would you want to have legends, myths, and wives' tales in your campaign?
Well, it enhances the storyline. It creates a great background. I mean, so the best example I can give you is something out of Tolkien, right? That's what populates Tolkien's world, is all the backstories, all the myths, all the legends, all the actions, the songs, the poems, everything that fits into it.
Yeah.
Right? So you have seasons, you have festivals, you have all these things that work out in it, and it basically, creates a room within that game to inhabit.
Yeah. It's a great way to throw out adventures.
Yes.
If you have a legend or a myth or a wives' tale, which, people superstitions.
Yes.
That's part of the wives' tales, the whole superstition thing.
Sure. I mean, there's a whole thing, you go into a village and someone says, well, there's an old keep up on the hill, but, people say it's haunted. I never let my kids go there, but they also say, I've heard, that there's treasure somewhere inside. Well, that's just fodder for adventurers right there. It's like, treasure, cool. Haunted? Well, we got a cleric with us, maybe, that kind of stuff. And that's just a game plan right there.
Well, there, Cookie, up in the 1500s, when the Spaniards came up into Arizona, they left a pile of gold up there in them hills, and there's more treasure than you could ever imagine.
But they say it's guarded by an Apache spirit shaman who will cut the throats of any white man who comes near it. So, yeah, come on. That's great. Those kind of legends are cool. We all love it. Yeah. It's in pop culture.
Yeah. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Exactly. That kind of thing. It really enhances a storyline.
Yeah.
So let's give some examples of how you've got some in your work.
Oh, I've got a ton of them, and I'm constantly creating more because I just come up with this wild hair at my, and I just come up with them. So, on the eve of the second full moon in the season of Mola. Mola is the month of May in my game. Go to the field and pick 12 pink sweet Elysium flowers. Paint Mola's symbol with your own blood, and of wine you make yourself under where you sleep. Hang fresh grapes above the circle, held together with strings of willow bark, wrapped with copper wire. Let them dry there until the first day of foraging, which is basically fall. Mm-hmm. You will be blessed with great love and healthy children. Man,
that's complex. But if you could somehow get all that together, the willow bark string, the copper wire, if you could somehow get it all together, it sounds like you could have good fortune.
Right. If a person dies of black boils, bury them face down with a rock on their back. This will prevent them from coming back to haunt you.
Dang.
It's kind of like the old vampire, with the garlic around the throat. In fact, Tom has a legend of his own in his own family that one of his
my great-grandmother, who came from the Czech Republic, was buried with garlic around her neck. And a garlic necklace around her neck, and that was to keep her from coming back.
Yeah.
Old legends die hard, people. They really do. Old legends die hard.
Yep. So that's kind of one of those. The black boils is a disease in my game.
Yeah.
Unwanted children left to die on their own will die and come back in the form of a wolf. That wolf will kill both the parents who did not want it. The wolf will then turn against the village that allowed it.
Man, that almost sounds like something out of The Witcher.
Yes.
Because The Witcher is full of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all those Polish tales and legends and fairy tales that Sapkowski puts in there. It's really cool.
And it's not. That's just one I came up with myself.
That's a good one. That's a really good
A
one.
wolf killed on the full moon of Full Fest, which is a holiday in a month, will return in the form of a man that changes shape into a wolf. That wolf will then kill men for the taste of blood. That's a werewolf legend.
That's a werewolf legend. A lycanthrope, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a blackbird lands on your chimney in the dead of winter, while fire burns inside and ashes fall, your house will burn down before the winter's end.
Wow, that's a portent of foreboding.
Yeah.
Keep those blackbirds off here.
Yeah. If a chair tips over as you stand, bad luck will follow you.
Oh, no, I have heard that before. I've heard that if people knock chairs over when they get up, bad luck will follow. Yeah, I've heard that.
If you trip near a grave, that spirit will haunt you in the next full moon.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Yeah.
If you're walking in a graveyard, you trip and fall, whoever you trip and fall at, you're going to be haunted by them.
This is a real world one that I liked in my own. Never set a broom with bristles down. Doing so invites evil spirits.
Oh, I never heard of that one.
That's why our own bristle is hanging up, because that also brings good luck.
Well,
if you let the broom down, that brings bad luck. The luck drains out of it. Or if you have it up, the luck stays in. It's like a horseshoe.
Okay, so our actual brooms that we clean the house with are all pointed down, but our actual magical brooms are all pointed up. Okay, good thing they're pointed up. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine.
A rooster crowing on the full moon at midnight will signal the arrival of a worm. That's a dragon.
Okay. Hey, worm!
If you leave a house and forget something, as you enter the door, turn 5 circles, first to the left, then 5 circles to the right before you proceed to get the item you forgot, lest you invite a troll to visit.
God dang. Okay, that's probably not real world, but that's pretty good.
These are for my world.
Right, okay.
Walking in a bog with bare feet, you will get ate by a troll.
Yeah?
Probably there's some truth behind that.
There probably is some truth in there somewhere.
And that's the thing about wives' tales. There can be some truths to some of them, or maybe something happened. I know of a real world one, and this is for real cowboys.
Yeah.
Real cowboys, if you throw their hat that they wear on a regular basis onto a bed, if that hat is on the bed for more than 10 seconds, they think that they'll die before midnight.
Yeah, I've heard that. Never put a hat on a bed. Yeah, no, so I do know about that. I've heard that quite a bit.
So
never put a hat on a bed. Yeah.
If you see a bat going right out of a cave instead of left, it's a vampire that will soon visit you.
I like that.
What do bats do? They go left.
Do they go left or right?
No, bats go left out of the cave. They go left?
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, remember when we went to the Ren Fair, we talked about that. Let's make like a bat and go left.
Okay. Cool.
If a bee enters your home on the first day of spring, gold will be found under your house in a year.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Well, think about that.
Yeah?
Okay, what is honey?
Honey, it's gold. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you get a lot of honey, it could be worth money.
Could be.
So, yeah.
If you light a candle and it suddenly goes out, evil spirits are near.
Now, that I have heard of. If you can't keep a handle lit, if you can't keep a candle lit, and there's no explanation like wind, and it just won't burn, you've got spirit issues, because they don't like the light. They love the dark, and they're always over there trying to snuff it.
Yeah.
That's an old one I remember from when I was a kid.
If a mother who just gives birth shall get wet, she shall catch a horrible cold and die. The mother's spirit will then possess the child. No other woman will give birth in that village as well. So that's another Sapkowski sounding one.
That is one. That sounds just like something out of The Witcher.
Place wolf's fangs or claws with juniper branch and berries under a child's crib to protect it. If you do not, evil will take the child and replace it with one that is foul.
Changelings.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a good one. You know, that's probably a Scandinavian myth in the real world that has something to do with that, because they always have the elves changeling, the elf children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when I created a lot of these, I took some real world ones and I rewrote them to kind of fit my world, or change them a bit. So this is creating your own and how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, take a real world wives' tale, like walking underneath a bridge, or not on a bridge, a a ladder.
Yeah.
Or breaking a mirror.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
these are all, or knocking salt over. Well, you got to throw it over your shoulder.
Yeah, knock over salt.
Shoes crossing themselves is a sign of bad luck to the person who owns the shoes. So if you have shoes that, you know, you take them off and you throw them over each other and they cross.
Okay, so that's a real world one, because they always say you never let the laces cross.
Yeah.
So when you put your shoes down, you never let the laces cross each other, because that's bad luck, because you'll get crossed up.
Yeah.
In other words, you'll get star-crossed, or you'll get crossed up in your endeavors or something like that.
Right. So so you see the real world and my world.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the shoestrings, it's the shoe itself.
Yep, yep.
Always hang clover over your door keeps evil out. That's like the mistletoe or the horseshoe. Well, a horseshoe pointed down is bad luck. A horseshoe pointed up with the ends is supposedly lucky.
Well, some people take bundles of herbs and they put them on either side of their doors or over the top of windows to keep out pests or to keep out
vampires.
Or
the
evil spirits.
Yeah. Always release the first fish you catch. If you do not, you will not catch any more fish that day. If you do this 3 times in a row, a fish will eat you instead.
Whoa. Okay, that's a good one.
If a woman drops her fan, pick it up, and you will be blessed by great love. If you do not, you will die alone and of old age.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. If a cloak clasp breaks and falls to the ground, a stash of treasure is buried there. It's kind of like the whole divining rod. So if you're walking along and you got your clasp and your clasp breaks and falls, dig for treasure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I haven't heard that one, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, all these are from my world. Like I said, place 1 coin per person on a boat into a bag. Drop the bag of coins into the water at the prow of the boat before it sails. Ask for Usei's blessing. Failing to do so will bring ill luck, and the ship will sink while on the voyage. You remember that?
Yes. In Naval ROTC, my old Chief Kent, was an old saltwater sailor from the 40s and 50s. And he told me that when they build ships, they put coins in the center of the ship, and that's for Neptune.
Yeah, and they still do that to this day.
Yeah, and that's to keep the dead, you know, that's to make the dead rise so that you can find them. Because there's an old poem that says, you know, I think I'm paraphrasing it, but you know, those lost at sea are only known to Neptune, and Neptune only knows their names. That kind of thing. I'm paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
I don't really know I can't remember what it is. But I was flabbergasted when Chief Kent told me that. I'm like, you're kidding. And he says, there's nobody more superstitious than a sailor. Yeah. I was like, okay, I can believe that.
Yeah, because in my world, remember the first time you guys went sailing?
Yeah.
In fact, even when you went on the last campaign, your cleric gathered a coin from everybody and buried it.
Yeah, I remember that. That was to ensure good luck and good travel.
Yeah.
Safe travels. Yep.
Yeah, kind of along the same basis. Place a gold coin under a merchant's scale to bring prosperity and good fortune for the merchant.
Yep.
Stealing a coin from under the scale of that merchant will bring nothing but bad luck until you return it with 10 more of its like.
Yeah, I like that.
Sacrifice 1 pound of mixed metal shavings into a fire on the first day of the year to bring good luck to blacksmiths. To reveal your face at a masquerade to one you are smitten will bring bad luck. Your beauty will be taken away, and in its place a horrible visage will be yours for life.
Ugh. I can see that, though. Yeah, that's a good one in the world.
To take the last 8 fruits from a tree will make the tree never produce the fruit again.
I have heard that one.
Yeah.
About you always leave 1 or 2 fruit on the tree, otherwise the tree will never produce again.
Yeah. To bury the last fruit you picked beneath the tree, bush you have picked it from, will protect it and allow it to produce for another year.
That only makes sense, that you reseed things.
Yeah. If a knight falls in battle, bury him with his horse, or he will come back to haunt the area he died in. If his horse is not buried with him, the horse will become evil and foul and will spit fire from its eyes and nose.
Poor horse.
A nightmare.
A nightmare. Man, poor horse, man. Wow.
If you spill your beer, place some breadcrumbs or bread on it, or your thirst will never be quenched again. It's kind of like the salt.
That's a good one.
If a mirror shall break or crack while you're looking into it, your face will be scarred and disfigured.
The mirror cracked. Yeah, okay.
Pouring a goblet of wine upon a field at the time of sowing the seeds, and giving a blessing to the goddess of the seasons. will grant a good crop.
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
That's actually kind of real. The
Yeah.
Vikings used to do that with sacrifice a cow and
for
take
Frey.
the blood.
Yeah, for Frey and Freya. Yep.
Yep. Never perform a new play on a night with no moon. It will bring ill luck and the play will be a flop.
Read that again.
Never perform a new play on a night with no moon. It will bring ill luck and the play will be a flop.
That's cool. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah.
It's best to perform a new play, poem, or story on a full moon.
Okay.
Bury the heart of your hunt under a Gradient's ash or red ash tree, and Rinus will bless your next hunt. Note this Gradient's ash or red ash is said to have come about when a great hunter named Gradient was killed by a bear cat or shadow cat that came down from the wildlands. His body was buried beneath the black ash tree. The tree leaves turned red on the anniversary of his death. The tree has spread and is now let's see, what did I say here? The tree has spread and on the anniversary of his death, the first day of Varen's moon turns red for 1 month. It said bows made from the wood of this tree make the best bows, granting a +1 to hit and damage and a +1 to perception. But one must sacrifice one's own blood at the tree that is taken from, as well as a fresh kill from a deer, stag, elk, moose, or hart.
That is definitely from your world.
Yes.
Yeah. Now
that's a legend. That's not really a wives' tale. That's a legend.
Well, it's legends, myths, and wives' tales.
That's right.
So there is a wives' tale or a myth or a practice. I remember reading about this. The Plains Indians, when they killed a buffalo, would take the heart and put it in the fire. And
well, a lot of times too, they would take a bite too.
Yeah, they would do that, or some would do that, but they would take the heart and they would put it in the fire and burn it so that the smoke would go to the Great Spirit. The person who did that then would always be able to find buffalo. So if you were willing to take the heart and sacrifice it, and you did that, the idea was that the Great Spirit would accept the heart.
Yeah.
And then you personally would always be able to find buffalo when others wouldn't. So that's kind of a cool idea too.
Killing an errant fly is a sure way to bring the wrath of Infirmidia. Infirmidia is the goddess of wraths and plagues in my world.
Yeah.
Into the wrath of Infirmidia into your home or village. It's better to let the fly out the door than kill it.
Okay.
If you spill your wine on white clothing while at a feast, you'll be struck with gluttony. Merchants who do not give to Handler is the god of the merchants in the world, once a month, will be stricken with the curse of Gear, which is the god of greed, and will soon find themselves out of business and driven from their home.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, mutilating the dead for any reason will bring the wrath of the spirit down upon you, seeking revenge.
Ugh.
Drinking from the skull of your enemy will cause you to be possessed by them. On Fullafest, leaving a skull. Fullafest is like Halloween in my world, except for it's 10 days long.
Yeah.
Leaving a skull with a bowl of blood in it with a candle in the eye sockets will protect your home from the dead that wander that night. If you do not, you will invite evil spirits into your home. So you take the skull, and you take the top of it, and you put a bowl in it with blood, and you put candles in the eye. It's like the jack-o'-lantern.
Okay,
anyway.
yeah, like a jack-o'-lantern.
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Drinking the blood of the dead will turn you into one of the dead by the night of the next hunter's moon. And you will crave blood until your death.
Ugh.
Basically, you become a vampire.
Vampire, yeah.
Yeah. Dancing naked on the equinox of Mola and Care at a stone circle will bring fertility and strong children.
Sounds like a witch's circle. Pretty cool.
Dancing naked at a fairy circle will protect you from the fae.
Or attract them. Either way.
Maybe if you're a male and you're dancing it, you can attract the fae.
Yeah.
Eating mushrooms from his fairy circle on the full moon will grant you magical abilities to charm the opposite gender or even the same gender if that is what you wish.
That's amazing. Yeah, that sounds like a Sapkowski thing there. Yeah.
Eating mushrooms that grow in stone circles on the full moon will cause you to turn into a dryad or a faun.
So let's say if you accidentally do it or you deliberately do it. I want to be a dryad.
If the shadow of a raven falls upon you as it flies, something is going to happen to you, be it good or bad. Usually bad.
Yeah, we've heard
you
about
had that happen to you.
Yeah,
Your character.
Shadow of the Raven come right over the top of us. Yeah.
And there was a troll.
Yeah. It was almost like it was leading us to the troll, or leading the troll to us.
Yeah. So those are just some of the wives' tales and myths and legends that I came up with. And so you can see how you could create whole campaigns upon that, or create magical things that happen just for fun. And it gives a whole depth. It's like our own world. Like I said, walking underneath a ladder. You don't dare walk underneath a ladder. You don't dare let a black cat cross in front of your path.
So, I used to work in the construction industry. I was an electrician for 15 years. And construction workers take this seriously. You don't walk under a ladder. Because what it is when you build, everything is built, out of the right angle, with the bottom part, and then you have the angle side, and that's called the sacred triangle. Everything is built on that, and that goes back thousands of years when they were first constructing temples. Ladders are typically triangular, okay, like this, or they're off like this and they're leaning against the wall. You never walk underneath them because you break the sacred triangle, and it brings misfortune to the job site, to you, or to the actual job site itself. Never mind the fact that walking under ladders is a good way to get a hammer dropped on your head. But the whole idea is that you never break the sacred triangle. Mm-hmm. People take that seriously. I know we did. It's just one of those things where you don't want to do that because someone's going to fall down the stairs or there's going to be an accident.
Yeah.
So people are superstitious in that sense. I really don't consider myself superstitious. But beliefs can sometimes have things that happen depending on how you look at them.
Yeah, something probably happened to create that myth or that wives' tale.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my grandmother would never let us run if we were sweating. She thought that's how you got pneumonia.
Well, there's the whole thing, if you eat, don't go swimming for an hour after swimming.
Yeah, because you get cramps. So, there's that too. But I always remember that. She would never let us run if we were too hot and sweating. And we had to stop and cool down, which makes sense. But her thing was, you won't get heat stroke so much as you get pneumonia, which I guess is kind of a northern Midwestern idea. That's how you get pneumonia. Your body gets weakened and you somehow get it. I don't know. But anyway, that's how she was, and she was very strict about that.
Yeah. So these are just some. I've created a lot more for my world.
Oh yeah, you have. And it really enhances the storyline in the world. It makes it fleshes it out. It makes it more real.
Yeah. There's another myth or legend that if you see a whole bunch, or you see a raven, it's actually the god Imbralic, who's the messenger of the god, and there is a message that you'll find sometime. And the party has actually ran into that.
We have, yeah.
Or if you see a flock of ravens together.
Yeah. Wasn't it something like if you see a flock of ravens and you see a solitary raven going the other direction?
No, it's just a flock of ravens.
Okay. All right. Because I think I remember reading, or you telling us something about a raven going against the grain, that it wasn't really a raven, it was something else.
Could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is things to help create a background and depth for your own world, or even the the generic world that you're playing in.
Yeah.
Because our own world is filled with legends, myths, wives' tales, superstitions, and that's what kind of makes life interesting.
Yeah.
And you might say, ha ha ha, that's not real, and then the player does it, and then they find out maybe it's real.
Yeah. We all love a good ghost story. We all love a good spirit story and a good fairy tale. That's just how we are. We're people who transmitted all our knowledge via stories for thousands of years before we learned how to write. And, those oral traditions, they don't die very easily.
Yeah, well, some of our own real world ones, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster,
UFOs,
UFO,
you name it. Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle, all these different things. So, anyway, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, spread the word, ring the bell. That gives you notifications that we've posted a new episode. We do post a new episode usually every Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. If we don't post one, it's usually we were too busy and we didn't get a chance to record. or just something has come up.
Yeah,
You
something
know,
happened.
it will happen. So if you don't see an episode, you know that we've been so busy that we haven't had a chance to. So
Yeah.
if you have an idea for an episode, visit us on our Discord.
Yeah.
The Discord will be down there at the bottom. Our email will be down there, but the email is wizardsofthetowrrp@comcast.net, I believe it is, or maybe it's .com. You'll find it down there, and I'll post it up there.
Yeah.
So anyway, may all your adventures be legendary, mythic, full of wives' tales and superstition.
And worthy of tales. Keep on rolling.
Thanks, folks.